Hey, what's up? So, I have some info. Had to buy new inks. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I had to buy some new inks for one reason. This ink was pretty bad. Okay, so this ink was pretty bad. And I couldn't get it to print. I don't know if you can see it, but in here are some giant sized bubbles, right? And if you watch any of my ink videos, I told you, when inks start doing that, they're pretty flippin' bad. All right, you cannot get these things to print in 8550. Now, in other ink systems with maybe dampers and stuff, you may be able to get them to print. But in the 8550, these inks are terrible. You cannot get them to print in the 8550. You might be able to get away with them with the 15,000, but the 8550, once they start bubble like that, just send it back, throw it away. You're just gonna waste your time and energy. 2 days I was fighting with this ink. 2 days. And I couldn't get it to print. Okay, 2 days. So I went and I had to buy new ink again, and I bought, yes, LCL inks. Told you I was gonna try them out, the actual colors this time, and I actually bought colors and whites because I needed ink. I had to dump all that ink. I had to dump all the colors, all the white. I had to start from scratch. Empty my bottles. Yeah, I just wiped the whole slate clean. I had to start from scratch. Bad ink. Bad inks will make you miss up your day. So I emptied my entire bottles, everything, all emptied. Now, I don't remember if I told you this, but when you remember I told you when you're doing your sealing for your caps, the stuff in here, okay, the sealing, it takes 2 days to dry. I had to redo my sealing. That's that thing. If you watch my sealing video, remember you got to give this thing about at least 2 days for it to dry. If you don't, it won't work right. Okay, it will just keep messing up and a bunch of stuff. You'll see if you don't give it the right amount of time to dry. Now, also before you start using it, make sure you peel all these little things out of your caps. See them? They kind of sit right around the edges, so you put it on the caps. And I did forget to say this, but you screw it on, okay? Screw it on, and you don't have to tighten it. Don't tighten it, because I did that too, and I screwed myself, and I messed it up, and I messed up my sealing. That's why I had to redo it, because I really tried to re-screw it. And no, you don't have to. You just screw it on. The second it's snug, that's it. Literally, once it's snug like this, you're done. Okay. Now, if you look inside, see, it's done. So once you finish sealing it, you screw it on. The second you screw it on, it's done. Okay. When you take it back off, these little pieces are going to start coming off around the rims and stuff of the of your cap. Just peel those off, because you don't want those to fall into your bottles, right? Because once ink in there and start falling in your bottles, you can suck them up. Again, just an FYI. You know, just peel them out, get rid of them before you start sealing your bottles with them. Okay? Just information. I don't remember if I said it, but there it is. See, nice and clean. I don't have to worry about it. See, there's nothing on the cap now. And then you don't. Again, when you close the bottles, you don't over tighten it. It's literally it's like rubber. It's a rubber seal. So the second you apply pressure to it, it's sealed. It literally don't take much to seal them now, right? And it's locked. That's it. It don't take much. No pressure, no nothing. Bottle sealed. All right. So now I can't use these bottles anymore. And it's not because of everything you think. I don't print enough to justify having these big old bottles. Okay? These are just way too big for me. Way too big. It takes way too long for me to go through a bottle of ink like this. I know, it sounds bad. It took me almost 3+ months to go through a bottle of ink that much. I really don't print that much. I print maybe once, maybe twice a week. Okay, that's how little I do print. All right, so it takes me about 2 months to go, 3 to 4 months to go through a bottle of ink this size. All right, so I'm gonna switch back to a small bottle like this. I can't use my old bottle. I can't use my old bottle because I never cleaned it when I was done with it, and that's all my fault. So I have this is technically garbage. And I gotta throw it out. I was trying to clean it, but it's just too caked up and clogged up. And I can never get it clean enough, so I'm gonna have to throw this away, and I'm sad about it. Because I never cleaned it, and I should have cleaned it when I was done with it. I got lazy and excited, thought I'd never need them again, and it's kind of just, yeah, my fault. But such is life. You live and you learn. So I have to go back to these bottles, and I'm gonna have to modify these the way I modified that one. And I'm not gonna show the whole modification process because there's a video for that. You can watch that modification video. But I'm gonna show you how to use it now that I'm gonna actually be using one. After you mod the bottles, how to use it. So if you wanna stay tuned for that, I'm gonna show you how to do it. All right, it's really not that complicated. Also, here's another thing I found out. If you have the 8550 and you have these big bottles, I'm actually happy I did it. I did this too because I realized that with these big bottles and these big lines, it creates problems with air bubbles, and that's one of the problems I was getting a lot. I was getting a lot of air bubbles. And I realized that these lines are just way too big. The lines are just way too big. So what's going on is, these are made for damper systems, okay? So to get sucks into the dampers are designed to mix the ink, and then it goes into the print heads, right? Well, the 8550 don't have a damper on it. It just goes into an actual well and then goes straight to the print head. Now, if there's air bubbles here, it's gonna go straight to the lines. Nothing to kill those bubbles, right? Nothing to get rid of those bubbles. Straight to the lines, straight to the print head. All right, no damper system. So, I realized to solve that problem, if you're gonna keep using these big bottles, you need to change from these big hose to these smaller hose. And they sell these smaller hoses separately. You gotta find them. If y'all ever want to, I'll try, just leave a comment, and I'll try to find nice small hoses. I forget where this one is. And I'll try to find some real nice small ones, and I'll list them and put them in the group, or I'll put them somewhere. But these lines so far are smaller than these ones. I don't know if you can see them, but there it is. See the size of these lines? That really helps with air bubbles. I know it don't. You might not think I'm telling the truth here, but believe me, just the smaller lines will help with air bubbles. It kills the air bubbles before they even go into the into your print head, because what happens is the bubbles are big. Well, it's not going to go through the line, right? So it's going to either pop the bubble, or it's going to push it out of the way, and then the fluid's going to go down, or it's going to reduce the bubbles. So by the time it gets to the print head, it's, pretty much ink. something happens somewhere. I forget how the process works. But by the time it gets to the print head, it's not but liquid. All right, or just reduce it so small that it creates less problems. I don't know, scientific way. Somebody can explain it. They know the scientific way. But I know these big lines, big bubbles come through, very small bubbles come through. Big difference. All right. And to do that, while I'm talking, to do that, you're going to have to use a part of this line. So you're going to cut a piece about here big, attach it to this piece, because the connection of this. To show you how small these lines are, they won't even fit on the top of these bottles. All right, they won't even fit here. This won't fit on top of this. So you have to use this to attach here, and then you have to use this piece, the piece on the back of this. You have to use that. Oh my goodness, it won't focus. So you have to use that, right, to attach to this. So you have to cut a short piece about yay big, and then this piece attached to the bottles, this piece attached to that line, like so. So you have something kind of like this, and then this attached into this hose, and then this goes to your printer. All right? That's how you'd have to do this. Kind of weird, but that's how it works. That's how you'd have to get it to work. And then you have to use the big bottles with the small lines to your printer, and that should, in theory, reduce the amount of air bubbles you have in the 8550. Like I said, I'm not going to use it. I'm not using these anymore. Too much. Takes way too long for me to go through a bottle of ink. Whew, I've got a lot of information. Now, I'm going to use this. As I said before, I'm going to switch back to this bottle. Small lines, 8550 like small lines. Okay? So I can reduce the amount of air bubbles I'm getting. And plus, it reduced the amount of time for me to switch out my inks. So it also gives, look, this is just for me. This is a personal thing. I experiment too much. If I was printing on a regular basis, doing a business, and I didn't experiment so much, I didn't change my ink so much, yes, these are perfectly fine. For you, these are fine. For me, not fine. I change my inks too fast. I experiment too much, and I'm teaching you. So if I'm teaching you and it takes me 4 months before I can go buy a different bottle of ink, kind of pointless, right? That's the problem. So now I'm smaller bottles, so I can actually buy the smaller bottles of inks. So I can actually, in 2 months or a month or two, I can actually swap out my ink for a new set of inks, and I'll be able to just give you more information as I get the information. I can do more experiments so you can get more information. Get it? Again, personal choice. If you want to do experiments, hey, get a small one. The big one ain't gonna help you doing experiments. Oh, and this ink bottle, while I'm at it, this ink bottle is for 15,000. It was cheaper. The 8550 ones, they want like $80 or some crap for that. I said, to hell with that foolishness. And they were selling these this one for like $50 or something like that, for one for XP 15,000. So I bought that. Same bottles, but it doesn't matter, right? Hey. Give me a minute, let me set all this up, and I will be back. Okay. Let me turn my mic back on. Alrighty, I'm back. I got my thing going back now. Look, see. I got my printer changed out, my inks line back in, my smaller lines, way smaller lines. I'll try to show a picture of these lines, these small ones compared to big ones. Man, these lines are so much smaller. Way better. Using a lot less ink. Everything's getting sucked down like it's supposed to. Nice, nice. See, ink. And this is what I was showing. This is where I was talking about where you plug the back ones, but you put the holes right in the front here. See it? Plug the back holes, use the ones in the front now. And this is a way better way of using this system. All right? And you shouldn't have any issues with this ink system using it this way. All right? So over the next few days, I'll show you. Now I have an actual way of using it to prove to you that this way is actually a better way to use these ink bottles because of that channel. See it? Now I can actually show you the channel. This is a problem. Down here is where the problem usually kick in, right there. Now that I actually take this whole vent system out of the way now, this is no longer an issue for me because you plug this system and you put another hole here. Now it's actually taking the whole air directly from this main channel here. All right? So the suction is down here. So it sucks air from down here and ears from the top. So that way you don't have to worry about air bubbles coming from through here because the wall, that little section is right there. The vents right, the suction holes here, the vents here. See, poor design, and I can actually see it, all right? So that's what you want to do, all right? And then as soon as this gets done and start printing, I'll let y'all know how it prints, all right? See you in a minute. So I'm back again, and I finally got it printed. Finally got it printing. I washed it out, and sometime when you wash this stuff out, because you see there's like all these little bubbles in here, it gets in your print head, and it just creates not but print bubbles in your ink, so you have to kind of get it out, and it takes forever. So I really need to just wash when you create your fluid to wash out your bottles and your print head. Use use very, very, very little. Make sure you don't have very much bubbles in it, because when you have to put back your ink in, it tends to create bubbles in your print head, and you kind of don't want that. All right, just a little tidbit of information. But it's printing again, printing beautifully, and that's my trip from switching inks. And bad inks will make your head hurt. Yes. But I had to switch it anyways, because like I told you, I hardly print. And those big ink bottles were just not conducive to my environment, where I hardly print, and I need to switch inks kind of regularly, so I can go through inks and test inks and give you the information so you don't have to. But if you want to, the choice is yours. You don't have to listen to me. You know, information. So, information is information. You do what you want to do with it. And I came out with this new design. I'm printing them out, and let me know what you think. Yeah, so that's my new design. So I'm gonna dry this bad boy up, and that's it for now. Until next time, peace.